All right, welcome back everybody. I know it's been a little while, but we want to get right back in it and we want to start getting some of those videos cranked out. The questions that I get more than anything else has to do with the GPS. So today we're going to talk about the different ways to set waypoints. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at the very first option when it comes to setting a waypoint. And that is basically, you're driving along, you're looking at your map page, and as you're going, you see something that you like. So as you can see, our little cursor is coming up on a little hump. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit that flag button. And automatically it'll pop up, say new waypoint at vessel. So all I got to do is hit the save button. So as you can see, a little blue dot popped up, and that's a great spot right there. So we numbered that one number 2. It's going to automatically default and save everything in numeric order. The other way to set a waypoint whenever you're in map mode is to actually touch somewhere on the screen. Now, in some cases, if you have your cursor icon over here or your arrows, you'll use your arrows to scroll over. This one just so happens to be a touch screen. So now I can come over and I can select that spot, and then I can go ahead and hit new waypoint with my little flag button. So of course, let me go ahead and save that one real quick. And so now you can see number 3 has popped up. Whenever you want to go ahead and make sure you go back to the vessel, come up to the top corner and hit clear cursor. And you can see the cursor disappeared and we have gone back to the vessel itself. So that is the quick way to set waypoints whenever you're on the map. Now there is another one. You can see over here almost every GPS will say MOB. That stands for man overboard. You can use this in a pinch if you had to, where you can hold both those buttons down and it's going to drop a waypoint real quick. That would be in case of an emergency, but it's just as fast to come over and hit your flag button. If you do have a unit like say the Hook series, where you have your cursors or your arrow keys over here, you can also just hit enter twice. That also works very, very well. The last way to do it, because this is a touch screen, we have the option right here says new waypoint. So I can come in and just hit new waypoint, and because it's at vessel mode, it's going to automatically put that waypoint down right where that boat was. And of course I can just come in and hit save. And you can see right when I hit that button, that's where it's going to go ahead and leave that waypoint for me. So let's take a look at the next way we can set a waypoint, and that's in our Sonar screen. So I'm going to come over, select my Sonar option, and so now you can see this is your traditional Sonar. It's going to be scrolling across. So basically everything right here on this edge is what's directly under the boat, and what you're looking at coming across is the history of what you've already crossed over. So if I come across something like this right here and I like that way that structure looks, or maybe I'm marking a fish, I can click straight on the screen, and you can see here where my little crosshair is, I can now select a new waypoint. And instead of giving me all the other information, I can mark it however I want. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and do a dot. So now it has numbered it number 5. You can see where I still am tracking information up top, and that's how you know, because your screen is frozen down here. Whenever you're ready to go back and jump to this little section that's in blue, you just hit the clear cursor. And you can see everything jumped real quick. You hadn't lost any information. It's still all there and you're still recording. If you were to hit the flag button and save the other way, you'd hit save. It's just going to take right on that edge is where your waypoint's going to be, and it's going to mark it on the map, and you will not see it pop up on the Sonar. So let's take a look at down imaging. Down imaging is going to be similar to that of your Sonar. So if you come over your structure and we're looking at the down imaging version, it's a little bit more detailed. Everything's a little bit smaller, but you get a better idea of what you're looking at. So it's going to mark the exact same way. So if I've got this little hump right here, I want to mark that. You can see where my cursor came up, and again I can hit new waypoint. And in this case I'm going to label that one like a little rock, but you can see where number 7 has come up for me. I've got my blue box up here because my down imaging is still recording. I just froze the screen. So to unfreeze that screen, come up and hit clear cursor. And you can see it jumps real quick. My blue history disappears on the top, and I keep going. And of course, the last way to save a waypoint, if you happen to have side scan. So when you're looking at your side scan, you can see I'm looking at 100 feet in either direction. So I don't necessarily have to go right over the top of that structure to mark that, but I can still mark it right over to the side. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of a rock pile formation right here. So I can come over and just select that rock pile and hit new waypoint. And I'm gonna call it a rock, and it numbered it number 8. Now of course it's still frozen, so I can take a good look at what's going on that screen. But what's really nice, it's gonna automatically save that waypoint, as you can see, just over about 42 feet to my right hand side. And so that, it's actually 46.8 feet to the right of the path that I'm on. So getting to mark that at that distance without having to drive over it, that is extremely helpful. And of course, just hit clear cursor and it'll jump up and you can see what's going on. That is a very, very handy thing to have. Alright, so lastly, let's take a look at how to edit your waypoints, once you've already saved them. So I'm going to come into my menu, and you can see from my main home page, my top button here is waypoints. So if I select that, it's going to start to list everything. So if we take a look at that very first one, that rock that we saved, number 1, I can select it, and now this gives me the option to go in and name it whatever I want. So I can click on it and then just operate it like a keyboard. Rock. So that's a great way. Once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. I can change the icon if I'd like. Maybe I want a small school of fish that I would find hanging out, since I know it's a rock now and I know it holds schools of fish. I can put a school of fish icon. You can go in, I can change the color of those fish. So maybe I use the light blue ones for a type of shad. Maybe I've got little schoolies, I want to put them in green. So that's great. And then of course what's really nice is I can put notes in here. I found these during the spring fry hatch. So maybe that was important. Or maybe, you know, during that springtime, found school hanging toward the surface. I can put those notes that I might want into that screen. So once I put all that information, I can hit save. So it relisted it down here. I can scroll down, and there's my rock title with my little green schoolie fish, and then of course it tells me my position, the time I set that, and of course where it is, distance and bearing from where I'm at. And then of course the last thing is, what if I get out in that lake and I want to head to that spot? So that's another thing that's really important, is I can click that one, and then right down here at the bottom I can do show, where it'll just show it to me. So now it shows exactly where I set that particular waypoint. This one does happen to be a waypoint that I physically saved out there on, in this case, Town Lake. And then of course you can always hit go to. So we're going to go back and take a look at that waypoint. And then of course I can hit right here, go to. And so when I hit go to, you can see it's going to draw that line all the way to my waypoint. Now of course this is a long distance away because I'm back at home, I'm not on the actual lake. But if I was on the lake, it's going to draw that line. The one thing to be cautious of, it does not consider any type of obstacles that might be in between you and that waypoint. It will be as the bird flies. So if you have a long point coming out over the top of that lake and you got to get around that point, you have to use your best judgment when it comes to following that trail. So that's just a quick brief overview, guys, of the different ways to set waypoints on your map, your sonar, your down imaging, your side scan, and then of course how to go through and edit those waypoints. From your waypoint screen, you have lots of options in here. You can delete all the symbols. You can sort them however you want. You can even set new waypoints right in here too, and you can go through and adjust your waypoint position. So if you have a buddy that was nice enough to give you a waypoint, you can go through, set that waypoint from here, and then you can travel to that position. That's really handy, especially if you got somebody willing to share that with you. So I really hope this helps, guys. This is a quick look of how to set all your waypoints. Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed that. If you got any more questions on what we did today or any specifics, go ahead and comment down below. If this helped you out, give me the thumbs up. That way I know I'm getting you the right content and I'm answering the questions that you might have. To kind of keep up with me in between videos, go ahead and head over to my Facebook page. I got it listed right here. Go ahead and give me a like there, and that way you can kind of interact with me. I answer a lot of questions via Facebook. It's really the easiest way for me to communicate. If you just want to go check out some photos, maybe head over to my Instagram page right here and check that out. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.